Hi there, and welcome to the Carpe Diem Conversation show, where we have conversations with real people who share their real life stories about getting more out of life by integrating work and life as one. Welcome back to all the people that support this show every week, and also welcome to all the people here for the first time. Just a reminder, this is a conversation and you are absolutely encouraged to join the conversation, and you can do that quite simply by adding your questions in the comments. So please join this conversation, because a group conversation is so much more fun. There is a bit of lag with Facebook, so don't wait until the end of the show to add your question or your bit of conversation. Add it as we work through the show, and we can get to your question at the end of the show. So, bit of an update. I'm just back yesterday from the Carpe Diem Conversation Roadshow, where I took this conversation in the form of a presentation and, most importantly, a conversation to business groups. Didn't quite turn out how I expected, because I did not get to the northern part of my roadshow, which was Sawtell, because I got turned back because of the fires. But that was okay. Had an amazing event in Sydney where we had some business owners there. It was co-hosted by my book coach, Jackie Lane from the Book Advisors, and we had an amazing conversation. The 45-minute presentation slash, oh, no sound. Oh, no sound. Oh, no. That's interesting. Let me try again. Do we have sound? Can anyone hear me? I have sound. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you so much. Hopefully everyone else has got sound too now. Jenny, do you have sound? Justine, you have sound? Oh, you have sound. Oh, it's just Jenny. Fine. I was worried then, because we had a bit of a hiccup where Kay didn't have sound when we tested earlier. So everyone's got sound. So hopefully I'm not repeating myself. Hi, Andy. I'm lip reading at the moment. Ian Reid. Okay. Okay. So Ian Reid hasn't got sound either. That is interesting. All right. Justine, yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Justine. Okay. That was an interesting start. Ian Reid's lip reading and Jenny's got no sound. So some of us have got sound. Anyway, like I said, I'll continue on regardless, and please yell out if you can't hear me. Not that I can do much about it, but as I was saying, come back and had an amazing conversation in Sydney with some business owners there. Ian Reid's got sound now. Thank you very much for letting me know, Ian. And that 45-minute presentation turned into a 2-hour conversation, because the Carpe Diem conversation does seem to trigger plenty of discussion, and that just tells me that it's definitely a conversation worth having. It's a conversation about not deferring things until later. It's about doing things you want to do later, doing them right now as you continue to operate your business. So if you'd like me to bring this conversation to your business group, by all means, please send me a message, leave me a comment, and I'm more than happy to bring it to your business group or your town, because for me, it's all about getting the message out there that we should be living for today. We should be seizing the day every single day. So if you need me to bring that, or you'd like me to come to your business group, please just let me know. Okay. That's enough about me. And Jodie Wilmer, thank you for letting me know that sound is fine for you too. And thank you for joining us again last show's guest. Tonight's guest is Kay Saarinen, and I think Greg as well. No Kay. I've known Kay and Greg for quite some time. They are early clients of mine, working from anywhere clients. They have Saarinen Organics, and they manufacture eco skincare sustainably developed from herbs grown on their own permaculture farm. Kay and Gregg believe that their sustainable eco business works well with the working from anywhere concept. And they also think that sustainability is not just for the environment, but for people as well. And we'll ask them more about that statement as we go through this conversation. So without further ado, let's bring them into the studio. Hey, Kay, how you going?
Hi, Andy, how are you? And look, here comes Greg.
Okay,
Yeah.
here comes.
Here we go. G'day, mate. How are you?
Good, good, good. Now we've all got sound. First of all, we didn't have sound with Kay and Gregg, and then we didn't have sound with the audience, but now I think we're all good. Okay, how are we going, guys? Had a good day?
Good, really good. Just
Where are
finished a hard day in the lab manufacturing today.
What did you manufacture today?
Well, insect repellent, of course, which is quite apt. I just made 400 insect repellents.
No mozzies around tonight, I tell you.
Oh, well, you've always said there's no flies on you. That's why. That's my joke for the night. That's as good as it gets. Okay, Kay and Gregg. First of all, tell us about your business apart from fly repellent. What else what is your business do? Tell us about your business.
Well, we've actually got 42 products. We've had them in development for 11 years now. So we've been manufacturing and selling for 11 years. So we've got our straw bale home and our permaculture eco-sustainable property where we grow our herbs, and we've developed our skincare range from the herbs that we've grown.
We're 100% reliant on our own power. We're not attached to the electricity grid, so we're self-sufficient in power and water. We've got a solar bore, and we also catch our drinking water. We've got a couple of stainless steel tanks with various filters on them, and we've got the ionizer for the.
For the water that I use in my creams, I've got an ionizer. So it's like rain caught water, and then I ionize it as well. And because the skin's actually got slightly high pH, so slightly acidic actually. So it's really important, even though it's great to have rainwater, but you've got to actually just treat it a little bit, but treating it naturally, which is yeah.
So truly sustainable in every way.
Sustainable.
And I've visited your sustainable permaculture farm, so I can attest to that. Definitely. Wow. So the business, where did you start? That's what you're doing right now. So you make. Oh, well, you can't tell us all of your 42 products, but what are the main products?
She could if you asked her. Yeah, you'd probably need longer than you've got, though. Don't get us started.
Now, I'll just check in with our audience here, because Jenny's saying she can only see me. That's a pity for you, Jenny. Can anyone else, can you just let us know that you can see both screens? If not, I can try and change that. We seem to be having good old technical hiccups tonight. That's okay. All right.
Very, very slow upload speed. I wonder if that's that might have anything to do with it. Yeah, we've got quite upload speed here.
Okay, well, you want to lift that sustainability game, you guys, and get your upload sorted out. Okay, Justine's saying she can see both of us, so that's good. Okay, tell us. I'd love to hear your story. You know, where this is what you're doing now, but tell us where it started.
Well, we met up in the snow.
We did over tray of pies.
Yeah. I'm actually a chef by trade, and Greg's actually
I'm a carpenter. Yeah, carpenter by trade, but I had a few years off the building industry. I worked up in the snow for winters, about 7 winters, and that's where Kay and I met. Yeah, I was driving over snow transport there. I used to like driving big Tonka toys. It was a fun job. But yeah, Kay and I met there over tray of pies. I was the over snow transport driver, and one of our jobs was to deliver the pies to the bakery up at Parish Valley, and that's where Kay and I met. Locked eyes over a tray of pies.
There you go. And it's
Locked eyes over a tray of pies. There you go.
fantastic.
But
And what about the business? Where did the business start?
Well, the business started through passion, really, passion and purpose. It was our passion, both of our passions were to live an eco-sustainable lifestyle, but it was equally important for us to also create an eco and sustainable income as well. So with Greg being a carpenter, he could do a little bit of sustainability in his income through building alternative buildings. But for me as a chef, it was very hard back then, 17 years ago. But we wanted. Hi, Christy.
There you go, Dom.
It was so important for us to live off the land and to make an income off the land. I'd already done permaculture, self-sufficiency, eco, a little bit of organic chemistry, and I was studying naturopathy as well, like topical naturopathy. And we were growing organic veggies and selling organic veggies, but oh my God, it was just unsustainable because it was 7 days a week and
that's the geese joining in.
Yeah, geese are in the background. It was hard, slow. It just didn't make ends meet. We couldn't make enough money out of organic veggies. People weren't interested back then to pay what it was worth. We kept on getting like knocked down on prices. Just wasn't worth it. Unsustainable, and physically, emotionally, mentally.
And we had late frost, and that I think we had a frost actually in late November. And yeah, that annihilated everything we had. So we thought, that's it. We're not doing this anymore. It's too, what wasn't sustainable for us. Sustainable. Yeah.
So, and that's the key. It's got to be sustainable, and being sustainable, you've got to adapt and change. You can't just keep doing the same thing and expect a different outcome. I think that's the theory for madness too, isn't it?
Something like that. So you changed.
So we've changed, and Gemma was born, and
that's sort of came in like when Kay was studying at topical naturopathy, herb culture, just before she fell pregnant. Yeah, well, just before she became pregnant. Mindful.
And she was born with eczema, and all the ducks just came into alliance. Like I'm growing all these herbs, and I was studying. I just finished the module on eczema, dermatitis, and psoriasis, and I thought, I've got this. Let's use Gemma as a guinea pig.
She was diagnosed with eczema, and the doctor, we came out with a script for I think it was a cortisone base
for a 6-month-old baby. Cortisone.
Not doing that. No. And Kay, so Kay was studying and used her brains and her knowledge and made her. Where'd you start with?
So I started with calendula ointment because we were growing. Well, it all aligned because we were growing the calendula. I'd already had a contact of an awesome local grower for beeswax, and I just finished learning how to make ointment. So it all came about, and I made it for Gemma, and then I had some friends say, I've got some extra, can I try it on my kid? And I think only a couple of months after that, I did my first market. I haven't looked back since. It's just 11 years down the track and 42 products later.
More than 11 years now. I
think 11 or 12.
Close, well, 11 and a half going to 12. Yeah.
Wow. And so you mainly started off just selling in the markets, and then you progressed to selling in stores or online. How did that work? How did you grow your business? What sort of growth did you
So it was markets to start with, and then online, so a web shop.
You built your own.
I built my own
website. Yeah, pretty dodgy
bad.
platform, but we still got sales from it though.
Well, good sales.
Yeah. And,
look, we've done it all organically. pun intended.
Yeah.
It's all gone. It's all just paid for itself. Like at every level, I've gone, okay, so now we've made enough money to buy ingredients, and there's a little bit left over after feeding us. Let's buy a printer.
Let's buy a laser printer. You know, like our first labels were just off a normal printer, and they got damp and they ran, they fell off, and so we stepped up to a laser printer, and I think they handled a bit of moisture.
I used to print them out, hand cut them, and then hand glue them with my glue stick, and then put them on my label on my products. And it had to. It was a nightmare. Oh my gosh, it was so rubbish. But
I'd come out. I was doing building work. I was in the building industry. Self-employed carpenter. I'd get home and if it was day, I knew Kay was manufacturing. I'd just hope I'd be driving home. I'd think, oh gosh, I hope she's finished. I hope she's finished, because if she hasn't finished, then I'd be roped in. I'd have to do the dishes, and I'd have to help with labelling, and I'd try and find extra work to do. I'd try and work a long day if I knew Kay was manufacturing on that day.
Look, I tell you what, hard yards, but we never took a loan out. The business paid. The business had to prove to us at each level. It wasn't, hey, how can we make a lot of money? How can we, let's make skincare, shall we? And how shall we do that? It just progressed. It was amazing. Oh, there's a question there.
That's actually my daughter who's saying a statement saying she's been dabbling in making products and making terrible handmade labels. So maybe we can connect you two, and you can give us some tips to give us some shortcuts on that.
And you know what? Hand making your own labels, Courtney, is a fantastic way to test and measure your market to find your minimal viable product, because it is so expensive to get your labels made. You can if you find cheap labels online, you'll quite find that you're really limited on the size, the colours, the range, all that sort of stuff. And to invest money, and then you've got to buy, hundreds. You can't just buy two, and then you get halfway through using those labels, and you want to change the colour, or you want to change a word, and it's so hand make them until you've got it rock solid. Look, we didn't start getting our labels made properly, as in designed by a graphic designer, and then got them professionally printed up until it's only been about 3 years.
There you go, Courtney. You've got a little ways to go yet. Keep chipping away at hand making those labels. And,
hopefully you'll do it a lot faster than what we did it.
There you go. Thanks. Great advice. There you go. Okay, awesome. So you mostly when you were growing your business, we've had discussions around this, and a lot of your time was spent at markets. So you had to physically be at markets all the time. It was just you and Greg for most of the time?
It was just me, really. Greg, pretty much, yeah. Greg's only come in and started doing the markets with me in the last 12 months.
Yeah, so it was just yourself. So it was the business, especially back in those days, was dependent just on you. So you were doing long hours?
Oh my God, stupid long hours. It's just stupid long hours from sun up to sundown. Like Greg said, he'd finish a full day's work and he'd come home, and I'd still be in, another 4 hours making creams or labeling, and plus I grow the herbs too. So it was my job to be in charge of the farm as well. So it was growing. So it was sowing the seeds, looking after, tending the plants, harvesting the plants, and then processing, and then making the creams, and then making the labels too. So with Greg in the business now, he's taking care. He's taking care of the farm and locking me in my lab.
Well, and I know and they're all the things, the manufacturing, the selling, and the hand and growing all the herbs and looking after the garden. They're all the things, the hands-on things you have to do. And I know when we first met, and I come and spent a day or half a day up there, the biggest challenge you had were the other things that you had to do as your business grows, which was the admin stuff, the computer stuff, and all the other stuff. Even though we don't like doing it, we like growing herbs and we like selling products, and that it's stuff that had to be done. So tell us a bit about the challenges you had as your business grew with that side of the business.
Oh,
thank God for Andy is all I can say. Thank God for Andy.
We're putting you on a t-shirt. Thank God for Andy. Thank God for working from anywhere. Not that we're religious or anything, but oh, far out. Like, I did all my paperwork, all my accounting myself, all my bookwork myself, but I did it old school.
On bits of paper.
Bits of paper, like I would literally,
these things.
in one of those old things, get rid of that. Literally, it would take me weeks. I would have the whole
photocopy every single receipt. Put it in a folder.
Because you know how like those old the receipts, they fade, so you've got to photocopy them. So you've got to keep your records for 5 years or whatever. So you have to photocopy them. And I would have my lounge room on the floor just covered in paperwork. It would take me so long, and I would get upset and I'd get cranky, and I did have, what was the program? I had that really clunky old program where you just put a disc in, and it was kept on my old. I had
MIB, MIB, didn't it?
MIB, yeah.
Yeah, but it was old. What an old version.
It was an old version that I had to keep my old computer for. So I'd already upgraded my computer, but I was still using an old computer.
And what was it that old that they deleted the program?
They deleted the program, and if I wanted to, it was that old that they deleted the program. And if I wanted to like query anything, I had to pay $50 for them to.
I think it was more than that. I think it was 70 for every time you wanted access to the program. You had to pay, like, in the end, $75. Like every time you wanted to access the program, didn't you have to get in?
So long story short, yeah, exactly. Long story short, Andy comes along and goes, "Kay, haven't you heard of Zero?" And I've gone, no. Because here we are living out winter, and we don't have TV, we don't do advertising, we don't do much but work.
Yeah, networking. Yeah, we didn't really do much networking. Actually, Andy was probably one of the first, I suppose, real steps forward in networking.
Well, we did the I did the Co and Ray course, I think, before I met you. Was it? I can't remember. Yeah, before I met you.
Okay.
And it was fantastic, but that was up here, and I still hadn't even got off the ground yet with like technology. Like you was talking up here, and I was like, I'm still bloody doing my paperwork on the floor in the lounge room, and
just doing Gemma's dinner.
Yeah. So just introducing me to Zero and the opportunity to be able to work from anywhere on my phone was like, the concept to me was like, this just sounds far too hard. Like, how I'm doing it hard now, I can't imagine how hard that would be. But far out, once I just can't. Yeah. Why didn't you tell me this earlier, Andy? Like, seriously. Why didn't we meet earlier? Like, seriously.
I still remember the big thing we implemented was G Suite and Google and shared documents and shared calendar instead of that paper calendar that you both had in your paper diaries. And I know you had it up on the wall that you used to share. And so what difference, we did transition your business, so everything was most of the things were in the cloud. What difference that made a big difference?
Look, it's just made a lot different. So much more faster. Things are faster. Our communication is better. Communication with other businesses, with us, where just to be able to share Google Docs and to be able to work on Google Docs with other businesses.
And yeah, work in Google Docs, work on documents at the same time. Kay got a new computer just recently, and just she was stressing, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get everything on it? And just got on, set up G, and bang, it's there. Like just
The money I've saved from because like we had to upgrade our accounting because we went past the threshold and had to start paying GST. And the amount of work that would have been if I had just taken all my paperwork. This is, to an accountant, to a bookkeeper, to be able to share it. They can log in with Xero and do it. Just even communicating with them, like in Google Docs, downloading all my statements and then just sharing the document with them. That would take so long to download it onto my computer and then upload it onto an email, and you could only send one statement at a time. And working from my phone, like we travel a lot, so I'm in the car. Like the car's my office now.
Fantastic.
And at market after we've set up on it.
You previously it was just you going to the markets, and now Greg, but now I know you've recently now got someone else doing the markets for you, so you don't have to be at every single market, and you're able to do that because you can actually. And the other thing you did after that, I know recently you went traveling in your caravan and working at the same time.
Yep, we do that often now. It's part of our working regime now. I just have to pop my computer. I've bought even a smaller computer because I don't need a big, massive computer. Yeah, exactly. Because we live in the 21st century. I don't need a big, whopping, great, big, expensive computer anymore because I don't need the storage anymore. I just need a little fast, zippy laptop and my phone. And
a lot of the time, it's a lot more efficient because Kay's, she's got some spare time. So even if it's a bit of a slow market, Kay's doing some work at the markets, answering a few emails, in the car, we're cranking at each other for some reason. So Kay gets on her phone and answers a few emails, or does a bit of bookwork, does some Xero. So it's just a lot more efficient.
Efficiency, like
as long as you've got mobile service, that's the only. It's a lot more efficient. You don't have to have your computer with you. You can do so much on your phone as long as you've got a decent phone. Yeah,
it's fantastic. Go.
And you weren't able to do that before because you had to be just at the local market. So and Justine says there she loves integrating caravan and work. Justine actually has just been away on a work-life integration caravanning trip, and she's able to work and travel. And that's what you did. I noticed you've done some cycling on the rail trail, and you were able to visit some of the stores that you deliver, that sell your products. So has that made a big difference to not being sort of more or less not trapped working in your particular area, having to be just in the Bega Valley all the time?
Huge difference to our life, huge difference to our health, huge difference to our mental health, our physical health, our daughter's life too. We're being able to get out and about and go and see things where we were fairly home-based, because I had to have my big fat computer and I had to, it was all paperwork and we couldn't communicate. I had to be there. So we're setting up systems where I can have staff coming into my lab and setting up systems so they can do the posting. We don't have to take products with us to do posting, stuff like that. It's just easy.
Okay. So you're all set now, or just about all set. I know we've got some more work to do, but where to from here for Saarinen Organics?
Wow, where to from here? We've got so many things on.
Got some very exciting, we're working
Some
on
things
a
you can tell, and some things you can't.
Yeah, we're working on an exciting project at the moment with packaging, our more sustainable packaging. From recycled ocean waste. Feasibility study happening at the moment. So hopefully it can be, looking at getting it manufactured in Australia. So a lot of, and that's very exciting. Looking, trying to integrate some compostable packaging in amongst the things. So it's packaging is looking very very exciting at the moment, and very sort of, we're working with people, smaller companies, but they're very cutting edge. So we're very excited about that.
So is Jenny. Jenny's excited to hear about your progress and what's ahead. Oh,
thank you, Jenny.
And we're looking at rebranding, and and we're looking at downscaling to upscale. Ooh, wow. I know. Or even there's, we're going to explore more about markets, further afield, and we've got a lovely little plan that we're hoping to hatch with you.
You can hook up the caravan and off you go.
So there's lots of exciting things.
E-commerce. We're working on projects to push a lot more product and information on the internet. Make that, I suppose, make our advertising and information more accessible on the internet. QR codes for information with our for the history of our packaging.
Too much information, Greg. Not too much.
But no. So
go from no tech to high tech, you guys. Now, Justine has a question, and this is a really good question, because we've heard, from right from back when you were making your own labels. What's been your biggest challenge in scaling your business, Justine would like to know?
The biggest challenge has been, I think, support and networking. There's one thing to sit on a kitchen table by yourself and think of all these awesome ideas that you can do, but there's nothing like bouncing ideas off
knowledgeable people,
not people with just opinions, but knowledgeable people, like networking, like mentors. And that's been the most, and because we have taken risks in our business, that's for sure. But to take educated risks is another thing.
And all these things are great, but putting them all together, so like we're trying to nail our problems before we scale our business, and that's where talking to people like yourself, Andy, and just talking. Here we are sitting on the computer. We're networking here at the moment. Just networking and nailing our problems before we scale our business, and
so IT, I think, has been one of our biggest challenges. And having you as a mentor has been, you've helped us. Oh God!
Because we're both not. Kay's a lot more IT savvy than myself, but I'm actually surprising myself sometimes.
You're doing well.
We've still got a huge amount to learn, and there's so much assistance it can offer your business. Being more IT savvy, just programs, with efficiency, with just SOPs, standard operating procedures, getting them nailed, so any person can step into any spot in your business within reason and have a very good idea on how to complete a task, how to do a task, or where to go if they can't do it, where to go to get it done. It's so that
your biggest challenge slash biggest opportunity seems to have been how you resolve that challenge. The challenge was just being yourselves around the kitchen table, is going out and getting help from mentors and networking with other people, other business owners. That's been the best way to resolve that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Know your problems before you scale. Exactly. And that's been
like and having speaking to those people, getting an idea on, I suppose, where to spend our money efficiently, because we've wasted money in the past. It's like we've got nothing for our dollar, but getting enough knowledge, gaining enough knowledge, so we know this person's value for money, or that what we're going to spend our money on is value. It's not going to it's going to get a return. Networking, the IT. So having to spend money, but trying to get the knowledge so we know we're spending the money wisely.
And you're going to get a return on the investment. Yeah, and that's always a hard one. We spend money in our businesses that we don't get a return on. But, yeah, definitely. I know you've been part of the iAccelerate program. iAccelerate, yeah. And also, networking with other business owners. And, like you say, you're networking right here. And people on the show, viewers are actually asking questions, which all adds to that. So that's fantastic. We are, of course, over time, but that's okay.
We always are when we talk, aren't we?
What advice would you give before we let you go? What advice would you give other business owners out there that are growing their business, maybe haven't got their things in the cloud? Maybe they are the business. What advice would you give them?
My advice would definitely look at IT. Start getting things in place early, because we still kind of do a little bit, have things all over the place, like just trying to link like your Facebook with your Instagram, if it's not all linked with an email from Gmail and all that sort of stuff, to get a business name and go through from one stage to the next, all the way to the next. Like, nail it all before you make a mess. Get into the cloud before you make a mess. Get everything secured. Get all your documents in one place so you can access it from one place. So then you don't waste time. You don't waste money that way either.
Great advice. Great advice. Get that foundation right and get it all set up. So, do we have any other questions? We've had lots of questions, which is awesome. Thank you to everyone that has asked the question. Has anyone else got any other questions before we let these good people go? If not, while we're waiting for any other questions, where can people find you? Where's the best place to find you, contact you?
So out there in Soberland, we've got a website, so www.saarinenorganics.com. But you can also, we've actually rebranded a little bit, and you can also Google Eco Seed to Skin, and that'll get you to Saarinen Organics. So we're Eco Seed to Skin by Saarinen Organics. So you can Google that for social media as well, and come and see us at markets as well. And we're in 35 shops around Australia as well.
Wow. Things are growing. Okay. We'll add those links into the comments, or when I upload the show into the show notes. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us and having a chat. We need to catch up very soon because I've got
we do.
We'll have a show to do.
Look, we've just come straight. This is working from anywhere. We've come straight out of the lab. I've come straight out of the lab.
I've been outside in the garden.
Greg's come straight out of the farm.
We had a meeting. Bank manager came out to our place out there, out the window.
I know, the bank manager. And excuse me, I just like to plug, we are in, look at this, organic. On page 48, we've got a 4-page spread. Would you
Wow,
believe?
you are media stars these days, you guys.
Oh my
Don't know how
God,
we got you on the show.
look at that.
Fantastic. Well, we better give a link to that one too, so people can grab that. Well done.
I know. Look, I've got to show you the other page too. These
go on.
photos were taken from the local awesome girl, Honey.
Wow.
Honey is a fantastic photographer, and she came out and did all the photos locally. So nice,
Wow,
huh?
what a nice job.
And
I'll have
I think
where
probably
did you buy that? Is that just in the news station? What's it called again?
Yeah,
What's the
so
name of the
so it's the one that Costa's in. So there's Costa down there.
it's probably the premier organic gardening, one of the most popular ones in Australia at the moment.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, we were on stage with Costa last week.
Yeah. You're just media stars. Gee, I'm so privileged to have you on the show. Awesome. Media stars. So thank you so much. And thank you to everyone that's joined us. Next week we have Anthony Chansamuth, who's actually at this minute or this week running a thing called the Remote Business Summit, which I'm actually speaking at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So yeah, Google remote. I'll add a link to that too. It's a Remote Business Summit. So I've done a session there on the 5 steps to setting up your business to work remotely, but there's 24 other sessions. So very much worthwhile if you want to tune into that, find out a bit more about remote working from all sorts of people. Karen's put a little comment there saying, media heroes. Yes, you are media heroes.
No, we will be able to watch it next Wednesday. Yeah. Thursday night we're busy.
Okay, thanks guys, and thank you everybody else. Until next time, as always, Carpe Diem. Seize the day every single day. See ya.
Right. Thanks. Thanks, Andy. Thanks for your help. Okay.